Hello, Hornets, and welcome to your daily segment of Bgsn. I'm Antoine.
And I'm John. Today we'll be talking about it's the last week to buy prom tickets at discount.
And as always, sports. But first, let's throw it over to Marcus for this week's weather update.
Thank you, Antoine. Hornets, you are looking at your last clear sunny day for this week, so get outside and enjoy it. Today we are seeing a high of 74 and a low of 53. Tomorrow for Community Service Day, we are not expecting rain. However, it will be a little cloudy with a high of 74 and a low of 60. Thursday will be a high of 66 and a low of 43. However, we will also see thunderstorms with a 90% chance of precipitation. Starting around 7 and continuing into the next day, so wear your raincoats and be prepared to get wet coming in and out of school. Friday, we are expecting the skies to clear up, but it will be the coolest day of the week with a high of 51 and a low of 39. This is all for your week's weather. Back to the desk.
John, you bought your prom tickets yet?
Nope.
Well, you and others who haven't bought their prom tickets might want to hurry because prom tickets are only $45 this week, and they will be $50 at the door.
Oh, really?
Yep. Here's Juliet to talk about where you can get them.
Good morning, Hornets. I don't know about you guys, but I am having an absolutely amazing week, and it's going to get even better this Saturday, April 20th, 2019. I'll tell you why, because this Saturday is the day you've all been waiting for, juniors and seniors. It is your Beach Grove High School Prom 2019. Now that makes this week your last week to purchase your tickets. Come see me, Juliet Kaufman, and Lindsay Glover in the lobby after your lunch to come purchase a ticket for only $45. Now, if you like to live life on the edge, you can pay $50 at the door. But in case you can't do the math, that's an extra $5. $5 is a lot. You could be even smarter by buying your ticket today at lunch. All day Wednesday or Thursday and Friday lunches for only $45. If you happen to have that $5 extra you don't need, well, feel free to donate the extra cash to Riley and buy your ticket this week. Just a quick reminder, the theme is Romeo and Juliet. Times and places are posted on your tickets. You must turn in your guest form as soon as possible, and it is going to be a great night that you won't forget. This has been Juliet Kaufman for BGSN.
Tragedy happens as the magnificent Notre Dame Cathedral caught fire yesterday, and many people were heartbroken. John got more on the story.
Notre Dame Cathedral suffers colossal damage after standing for 856 years. The fire, which came the day after Palm Sunday, Monday, April 15th. Cathedral spokesman quoted, "The medieval wooden interior had been gutted, and nothing remained from the frame." After hours of hundreds of firefighters dousing the building with water, Paris Fire Chief said the twin bell towers next to the building had been saved. The cathedral had been undergoing a badly needed renovation after decades of deterioration due to pollution, acid rain, and time. Officials said they were considering the blaze an accident relating to the construction. There were no deaths, but one firefighter was badly injured. In an address to the nation just before midnight, President Emmanuel Macron said the worst had been avoided, that the exterior structure had been preserved, and that the cathedral would rise again. "I tell you solemnly tonight, we will build this cathedral," he vowed.
I'm John Paciano, signing off from BGSN.
French billionaires and companies have pledged over $4,550 million to help rebuild the iconic building. The largest donation announced today was from the LVMH Group, which owns Louis Vuitton and other companies. The company and the family and CEO Bernard Arnault promised $226 million. The company said in a statement released this morning that the donation showed solidarity with the nation tragedy, and that funds will be used to rebuild an extraordinarily cathedral and symbol of French heritage and unity. It seems that everywhere we go, there are trash cans filled to the brim, and this is not only bad for us, but it's bad for our world. And well, Josh Hackelman got more to show you a plan to reduce waste.
Every year in the United States alone, we generate approximately 230 million tons of trash. That's about 4.6 pounds per person per day. This is what our landfills look like. I was tasked with the experiment of reducing my waste via using products that are reusable. These are what our trash cans around our house and around the buildings that we go in should look like. Unfortunately for most of us, the reality is that these are what our trash cans look like. As you can see through the data shown, I reduced more than half of my waste every day just by using reusable product. So throughout this experience and this experiment, seeing that reusable products are so much more, number one, for the environment, number two, for our budget, is really something to think about. And I would really take in consideration, stuff like reusable grocery bags and reusable water bottles, because you're just going to fill up your trash can and number one, hurt the environment, and number two, hurt your pocketbook. So I would really recommend you doing yourself a favor and the world a favor and buying reusable products. It worked for me, it can work for you.
Now we're going to toss it over to Garrett Norcross for sports.
Thanks, Antoine. Hello, Hornets. Welcome back for another segment of sports. For Beech Grove last night, the girls varsity softball team beat Pike 10-0. First off, the girls tennis team has a meet away versus Roncalli. But for some other sports, it must be Monrovia night tonight, as 3 different teams will travel over to face our ICC rival. Girls varsity softball will travel to Monrovia tonight for an ICC matchup, along with the boys varsity baseball team, who will also travel to Monrovia tonight. Rounding out the Monrovia matchups, boys varsity golf will have a meet versus the Bulldogs. If you are a girl and are interested in playing basketball next year, there will be a call-out meeting this Thursday, the 18th at 7:30 a.m. before school begins. It will be in the main gym. If you have any questions, you can email Coach Raker at the email behind me. Yesterday, Beech Grove's own Mr. Osborne ran in the Boston Marathon. His official time was 2 hours and 49 minutes and 6 seconds. Also, our athletic trainer Carl Palma qualified for the 2020 Boston Marathon with a qualifying time of 3 hours and 49 seconds. Carl was wearing a We Before Me track shirt in honor of Coach English during this qualifying run. In NBA news, Golden State Warriors hosted the Los Angeles Clippers in Game 2 of the series, and it was one for the history books. The game was appearing to be a typical home Golden State playoff game, going up by as much as 31. This was the highest deficit comeback in NBA playoff history. Clippers had a .01% chance at winning the game. The series is tied at 1-1, as well as the Nets and 76ers, since Philly regrouped after losing Game 1. Pacers play again tonight for Game 2 in Boston and will look to tie the series. They are going to need to find their shot if they want to win. More NBA news. Prospect Zion Williamson has decided to take off his Duke jersey to declare for the NBA draft. Just like his Duke teammate R.J. Barrett, he has decided to test his luck in the draft, and he is projected by many to be the first pick. Unlike Zion and R.J., Trey Jones decided to stay as a Blue Devil to attempt to make his pick a lot higher in the following draft. Stanley Cup playoffs are starting, and it looks like it will be similar to March Madness, with many possible upsets and exciting games to watch, more specifically Tampa Bay and the Columbus games, and Islanders and Penguin games, because both the Penguins and the Lightning could be eliminated in the first round tonight. I went out to get more information on the playoffs.
So if you happen to be Canadian or a hockey fan in general, you might be watching the NHL playoffs. Now for some American sports fans, it's what comes on ESPN between the NBA playoffs and Zion Williamson. Starting off with Calgary Flames versus the Colorado Avalanche. Avalanche are currently up in the matchup 2-1 after dominating in Game 3. Next up, we have the Vegas Golden Knights versus the San Jose Sharks, with the Golden Knights dropping the first game but winning the next 2. Continuing on, the third matchup with the Nashville Predators taking on the Dallas Stars, with the Predators being up 2-1 with a very close third game. Up next, we have the Winnipeg Jets versus the St. Louis Blues, with the Blues being up 2-1. They do play tonight, so we'll have to see if they can extend their lead or if the Jets can tie it up. Then we have what should have been an easy round for Tampa Bay facing the Columbus Blue Jackets, but they are currently losing 3-0. The Lightning had the best record in the regular season. Next, we have 2 of the original 6 being Boston and Toronto, with Toronto leading the series 2-1 after edging out the win last night 3-2. Then we have the reigning Stanley Cup winners, the Washington Capitals, facing the Carolina Hurricanes, with Washington beating them 2-1 after losing to the Hurricanes a tremendous 5-0. Finally, we have the New York Islanders facing off the Pittsburgh Penguins, with the Penguins being down 3-0. Their next game is tonight, and they could possibly be swept. And now you know the NHL playoffs are going, so cheer on your favorite team when they win, or, well, if they lose. I'm Garrett for BGSN.
That's all for your Beach Grove Student News. I'm John Pasianos.
And I'm Antoine. Enjoy the rest of your day, Hornets.